Go ahead.
We just need to let them right on this side.
Well, we'll go ahead and get this meeting started. You're already in recess. Everybody back. I'll call the together and then make sure we'll reconvene. We have 2 sets of minutes to go ahead to approve. Here, first one will be March 1st minutes. I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at it. I can't read them if you would want. And then we've got April 5th to approve. So that's your pleasure. Okay. We have a motion to approve by Monica we have that. Are there any questions? If not, take it for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Motion carried. First on our agenda, we have Martinsburg Lions Club. We met with them last time. Is there a representative there for them? Okay, we'll go back to that information a little bit later, and then we'll go ahead and accommodate who's here outside the walls. Okay. Address us.
Does he want to sit there?
Where are you sitting? Okay, besides getting in, pardon, besides getting in the door?
Well, it wasn't the door, it was the steps.
Yeah, he took us, he got us through the door, he did us through the
They
door.
decided to walk, so I thought I'd be able to walk upstairs.
Yeah, girl did that today. You got breath all during your speech. You got the floor.
Okay, my name's Meredith Peters. I am a grant writer for Outside the Walls and a volunteer. And this Lila Drake, she is president of Outside Walls. So I wanted you to know we have a legitimate organization.
We're real.
So anyway, and we got, some stimulus money last year, and we're thankful we're using that now. I have sent Kyra some emails or pictures of what we have done on our first project, which was last month in April. And we spent $648, we being Outside the Walls, and the family spent some money too. So I bought 16 feet of lumber to cover 21.5 feet. They didn't know what they want to do the last 5.5 feet. Oh, well, concrete, and I and the son was building this, and I talked to the son, and I said, I don't think we should do this. I think we can finish with lumber, and I told him how. So I left him with that, and he finished it really good with lumber. So they paid for the last 5.5 feet. Our cost was $648.33. Now on top of that, we have a project that is $1,486. Now we are committed for 1,000 of that, 1,486. And then there's another project that is $601, and we're going to pay for all that. So that's 3 projects we have started this year. backing up to last year, in the material we buy to, repair flooring in mobile homes and, to do the ramps, we did 5 ramps last year at a cost of around $3,300. And then the flooring for 2 mobile homes was $3,800. So just in material, lumber material, was gonna send round figures $7,100. We also bought a water heater. I'm sure that was, probably inflated cost too. But anyway, now, moving up to this year, we're asking for $10,000, thinking that, we will probably use that, most of it this year. But in my experience in inflation, I'm sure your experience too, prices do not go down. People just get adjusted to the new price. So I don't count on this lumber going down very much. So we'd like to have $10,000 to pay for future expenses on maybe, like I said, flooring and wheelchair ramps. Kyra, did you bring your picture of the ramp?
No, I have them gone printed off today, but
Okay.
I've got them, I'll forward them to them.
Well, we have a website called Outside the Walls, washco.org. There's pictures on there.
What is it now?
Outside the Walls, Washco, short for Washington County,
Okay.
.org, O-R-G. And you can see our projects on there, and you can see some pictures of some ramps, and you can see, how to print off an application. And it tells you where to mail an application to. So, we get some, weird, asking, I guess, about doing the different things. People want to know if we will pay for funeral expenses. No, we don't do that. You'll see some projects will have been denied. Can you pay my $1,400 electric bill? No, we can't do that. So we get enormous requests sometimes, but we have a board, we have a meeting, and we discuss the project or the application that we get. Like last night, we had a meeting last night, discussed the application, have one application. But on average, we do 5 ramps a year, about 3,000. Well, it used to be around 2,000 for 5 ramps, but. So that's a rundown of what we're asking for, and just to pay for raw material.
Can I say something?
Yes.
We do encourage, the people that we help, we encourage them to either have sweat equity in it or to try to come up with a little bit of funds themselves, just so it's not a giveaway project. It is a hand up and not a handout. That's what we strive to do.
What percentage or anything like that?
No, we don't. Just whatever they can do.
Yeah,
You know, like this family that are talking to the son about how to do this, and they paid for the last 5.5 feet. I have no idea how much that cost.
And they did the labor.
Well, yeah, now Victor, he wanted, you can buy these, little, you used to call them deck blocks, they're called handy blocks now, where you set the post in. He wanted to use those, so I bought 6 of those and, $71. And he paid for that, give me cash for that. He wanted to pay for that, but then either they or the son paid for the rest of it. So the project that we're in on for 1,400, well, we committed 1,000, now the family's doing the rest.
Letty, what's your current, who are your current board members?
Myself, Lila Drake, Chuck Heckert is the vice, Mike Ray is the chaplain, Bob Hicks is the treasurer, Rhonda Tuttle is the secretary. And then we have board members as well, but that's the board.
All right. Comments? Questions? We just Rob just, got one of the pictures of the ramp.
Oh.
Okay.
Good, thanks.
I make a motion that we go ahead and, approve the $10,000 request for outside wall.
Been motion second to approve the 10,000 to reference to the commissioners for their final discretion, so, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same, motion carried, so we'll carry it to you, that our recommendation is the full, funding of the full 10,000 as they requested. Okay, we're gonna go, do you wanna go ahead and act, or do you wanna go
No.
later?
I tell you what, we're expecting our second draw.
Okay, we haven't happened yet?
We don't know. No, we haven't got it yet. And that's putting us in a hole there. So what we do tonight with what's already been committed, we're looking at about $19,130.
All right.
So that's what we're gonna have to watch out for.
Well, yes.
That's from the first draw?
Out of the first draw.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at that yet.
Well, as your funds come available, we're
Yeah.
recommending approval on this one.
And that's kind of where we are.
That-
At the first draw, it was 15th, I think, of May. We're expecting it to go that period of time. We haven't got a acknowledgement on it yet. Shower check today, but we still don't have nothing there, so.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll just, notify us.
Anything's appreciated, very much appreciated, yes.
Well, board has approved it to us, so. As of right now, I got my hands tied to saying anything. We're waiting on your checks in the mail, but we don't know that for sure.
Okay, we understand.
Totally understand.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Seventeenth, we'll know something that we can act on, the seventeenth of this month, or next commission meeting.
I should be able to apply through the portal hopefully within, hopefully sometime this week or next week.
So do we need to come back, or?
No.
No,
Okay.
I mean, they approved you to us, so there's no problem there. It's just,
Just check.
we're waiting on this date.
Okay. All right.
Now, one thing I like to do is to put things in the paper, in the letter to the editor. Is it okay if I mention how grateful we are to you all for that in the paper? Is that,
I don't have no problem with it.
is that okay?
it'd be a long time coming, great.
Okay.
That'd be very kind.
Well, we do appreciate it, we really do. And we try to be very frugal and very conscious of our dollars, how we spread
We
it.
understand, I know that, I don't see how you're doing all these projects with materials and everything else.
Well, all our labor is free, it's all free, we don't charge for labor.
We appreciate the work you do.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Same here, we appreciate what you do.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, well, let's wait to hear from you then.
Yes.
So, dude, one other thing, do you need any numbers or anything with me?
They've got a long
I
time.
got you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awareness, Washington County.
We can stay.
That's kind of where we get there.
One more here for it too.
There was what's supposed to be one more here?
No, it was. Well, I thought was waiting for the juice heart, you know, and then we'll all break out singing here.
You don't
You
want
Okay.
might
that.
not like it.
Well, we're in this Washington County, go ahead and describe what your request is.
Yes, so we're with Washington County, we're 3 board members, volunteer on the board. We're here because we've seen in the paper that you were getting some COVID relief money, and our organization has really suffered from COVID, everything from local businesses not having the extra money to help sponsor us, being shorthanded, not being able to send people to our class, our leadership class that we do. We do a 9-month leadership class for people in the community. That class, at the end of their graduation, they choose a project to help the betterment of the community of Washington County. And I know you've probably heard of projects in the past, Beck's Mill, the restoration of that was an Awareness Washington County project from one of our classes. There's been just so many, I couldn't even name them all that we've done.
Repair of the bell tower here in the
Yes.
courthouse, that was an Awareness Washington County project.
The lights on the walking path out by the school, that was an Awareness Washington County class that they said they saw a need for lights out there. So we've done a variety of just, helping the community by doing this leadership class. We depend solely, we're on a nonprofit, we officially by the state. We've suffered from just low class participation, low sponsorships. We do a lot of different benefits that we raise money ourselves, and those have been severely impacted the last couple of years. We did finally get that chili cook-off this year, which was a huge success after having canceled for 2 years. That usually nets us about $3,000 each time we do that. So we didn't get to have it in 20 or 21 due to COVID, but we did get to have it this year. So we're just looking for anything you can help our organization survive and continue to help the community and help build better leaders in our community. And we do, other than that, we do have, all the board is volunteer, but we do have 3 facilitators that do the classes. So one of them is administrative assistant, and the other 2 are facilitators, and they just do part-time, they get permission from their job to once a month to go hold a class and help teach leadership. And together, their combined salaries all together is about $15,000 a year, that's all we pay them. The rest of everybody else is all completely volunteer. So we need to continue to pay them. The city does allow us to use a building over on Joseph Street for a lot of our activities and our board meetings, but we're responsible for the entire upkeep on that building. A few years ago, we completely put in new windows in the building, and right now we're gonna need some money for some insulation because the electric bill more than doubles each winter. So the building needs some insulation, so we're trying to look into that to see if, somehow we can afford to, do that insulation project. So there's just a host of different projects we want to do, and we want to continue with the classes. This year's class that's getting ready to graduate, they've already picked their project, and what they want to do is bring the We the Youth program back that we were doing a few years ago, and unfortunately that had to stop. They want to bring that back where they can help kids in school and teach them leadership. But to do that, they're going to have to file for some grants and some money to get that coordination going, because they're going to need a director, a facilitator to help teach those kids leadership skills. So there's a whole host of avenues we would use that money for, definitely, to improve.
So what is the request you're making for the amount? What is the amount?
We hadn't really talked about it. We were hoping about $10,000, but anything you could give would be really appreciated.
We came to the $10,000 on 2 years of Miss Chili Cook-Off, which puts us at $6,000. And then not donations, but people buying sponsorships of the class, either for class days or events that we put on, the graduation or the chili cook-off. Each year we're down approximately $2,000 per year on that. So that's how we came to the 10,000. We just rounded it down to an even number that way. But honestly, like everybody else, the businesses have been impacted. We've been impacted because of that. The other big source of income for us is folks taking the class and then them putting in their tuition. Our class numbers, my class was about 21 people by the end of the year. This year I think we started with 12 or 13. So just right there, you're looking at a drop in the salary, which, you know, it's just the sign of the times.
And to be clear, the drop in the numbers of class members is not a lack of interest. It is the lack of ability to pay that tuition fee. And we love to offer scholarships, we absolutely do that, but that we don't have those funds. Those funds are gone. Like, we're using those scholarships so much to help pay for people to take this class. We need to get more money to do that. At the end of the day, if we can get more people through the class, we will make it work. The other things that we have to pay for, we will make it work. The importance of Awareness Washington County is getting people in this class, teaching them leadership skills. I feel very strongly that you can go to just about any organization in Washington County and find an alumni from Awareness Washington County doing positive work, making this community better. They come, they learn leadership skills, they learn about the county, and they want to stay and help the county. We want to keep doing that. So they have to pay their tuition fee, but also it's a matter of taking off work. A lot of times businesses would sponsor them, pay their tuition fee, and also, you know, pay them for a regular day of work. They just get to come to awareness that day. With the COVID-19 pandemic, it's just not as feasible as it used to be for a lot of businesses. So if we can take part of that cost away by getting more money to use as scholarships to pay that tuition for them, we can get our numbers back up. People are interested, they're telling us they're interested, but the financial cost of taking a day off work every month, it's not feasible for them. So if we can do just a little bit to help them, to get them to invest in their community through awareness, we can see a lot of positive changes.
What are your tuition fees?
$250. Yeah.
Actually, we raised them, they're $300
Okay.
now.
Yes.
Yes.
$300, but
Yes.
we
We
did
did
last
raise
year,
them.
last year just did 250.
Yes, we have raised them to 300. And going back to her comment about We the Youth, that was largely a loss because of COVID. Right before COVID hit, our director for We the Youth resigned, and we simply could not keep that going. We couldn't find someone who'd be willing to take that very small salary, part-time job in the midst of a pandemic to keep these youth engaged and keep teaching them leadership skills. So the fact that this year's class is dedicated to bringing that back, I think that speaks volumes to where we're at in the recovery after COVID, and it could really benefit our community having these teens learning about the community, being invested in the community, and doing a project to help the community.
When you at one time working with adult reading too, is that
SOAR was a program that
SOAR.
came from one of the class projects.
okay? That's what I'm thinking. Is that project still going?
I think that was absorbed by the library.
I was just on the library website, I think they're running with it now.
Okay. So they've taken it over.
Yes.
Good. That's a good testimony. So if you were to have 30 members in there, that's $9,000. You got $15,000 worth of salaries you're working with. I mean, that doesn't even take, that takes maybe about 5/8 of your commitment as far as salaries and stuff. The two losses on the chili cook-off was approximately average of 3,000 each for a total of 6. Then the down of the attendance was 4887, which you rounded up to 5. So that's where you're coming up with her. So you're $11,000 basically on what I see there as far as losses in there. I've done some discussions out there on economic development and stuff like that, and I participated in those panels, and I've seen your different, it's quite a diversified group, that you have. I've heard good things back. I guess that some of us that have always lived in Washington County just just think everybody ought to know. And even that, I learn new things whenever I'm out there, so. And I understand as far as your different, roles that you do in there, as far as role playing and stuff in there, are leadership skill type of, activities. So, that's kind of my discussion of it. Mark, you got anything?
My impression is that they've been a valuable organization over the years, and, that's my position. I would be in favor of funding them at about $11,000.
Okay. Yeah, so would you want to make a motion at the 11,000 then? Okay. Brock has made motion for 11,000, seconded by Mark Manship. It's open for discussion. Seeing that, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same.
Thank you so much.
So as soon as they get their check, you know, they can make a decision whether.
Checks in the mail, right?
But it's up to their final discretion.
Absolutely.
But as far as with the committee, I think that it fits within the parameters of the grant and stuff, so we approve it in that. So we're moving it to them. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, appreciate all you do.
Parks and Rec,
Yes.
you got a representative? Go ahead. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, no, yeah. Nothing. All right, Jeannie and,
Shannon.
Shannon.
We're both on the board,
Okay,
Campbellsburg Park and Rec Board, and, our other board members are Sue Bennett and Rob Batchelor. Sue couldn't come because of youth group tonight, so, Ryan Packwood helped get this, and he volunteered, because he's worked with our youth, at the ballpark before, and still does. And Anita Collins, who is our town clerk treasurer, she keeps all the records, our park board money and everything's through the Campbellsburg records. She's the one that writes the checks and, takes care of that. So she's the one that did this, without our finances. Of course, we lost revenue in 20, we gave back, we had the sign-ups, and then we had to, we gave back most, anybody that asked, we told them if they want their money back, she refunded it back, or they signed up for children. And I'm not sure how many did that, I think pretty much most of them did, ask for their money back, which that's what, we felt like we should do. And, so, the park, this year, we put up a fence that's just being finished, which takes us several years to save up money to do any project. We don't have any tax money through the town. When we started this park board, I don't even know when we started, years ago, we said we would not ask for tax money. If we could start it, we would raise our own money by donations, fundraisers, and all that, like that. Sponsors, we have sponsors that have signs that's getting ready to be put up on the fence, pretty soon, because we've got 2 fields at Campbellsburg, and, we just, had a company to put up a new fence, which we had part of that fence, ourselves saved up, had some rolls of fence, and, they put a 250-foot length field, up the upper field that had always just been open except the sides and gates, and, then they repaired our lower field that had a whole fence around it for years. They repaired it, all but one, the gate to get the lawnmowers through was missing, and a gate that was in the outfield was gone, but we're just gonna put fence on the out and close that gap ourselves. And, then we're gonna buy the gate that's big enough for the mowers to get through that one field. We're gonna buy that ourselves, order it. So, they have, trying to think of anything else information. We have about 140 kids each year signed up for Campbellsburg. And we have all the way from wiffle ball to 12 U's, boys and girls. We used to be in the Babe Ruth, sanction, but we dropped out of that 2 years ago. Normally, our teams don't go any farther than, right where we're at. They play, different, we play ourselves, plus we play some Salem teams, in Hardinsburg, Borden, Pekin, and there's a couple more that some of them get scheduled, the coaches get scheduled for. We buy, equipment each year for catching, not every year, but when it's needed. We bought a couple of new catchers equipment this year. A few helmets, most have their own helmets now. But we have those, of course, the balls, and our concessions, we have a concession stand, and, then most of our umpires are volunteer. The kids all sell candy, that's on here as, I think, the candy fundraiser. Each child has to sell candy, and so that's one of our bigger money makers. She takes out for our utilities. We're getting ready, hopefully our goal is to have lights. We have some that we think is gonna be donated to us. So we're gonna put lights up if we can. It probably won't be this year. We're hoping, it might be once it's done, but we can get it done for next year. But we're supposed to get those donated, but we have to furnish, some more poles probably. And, of course, the electric and the water, we pay for through this money. Whatever the expenses is with that. We have cameras up there, security cameras to try to keep from vandalism there. Scoreboard. We have a scoreboard on one field, and the factory in Campbellsburg had said, I don't know if it was a couple of years ago, that they would furnish a scoreboard once we got a fence up on that field. So Sue Bennett works there tomorrow, Sunday, and she's gonna ask them if that still is, they want to do that. If not, we'll have to get the scoreboard. We're hoping they're gonna buy that, so that's pretty much all I can think of at the moment.
And the park and rec is something where we have kids that
are able to go and travel. But there are kids that their parents can't afford it, so the Park and Rec is something for the kids. This is something that's good for the kids.
Yeah, a lot of kids play travel ball, but, and some that play there, we ask them to try to stay in the league. Some of them want to drop out when they do travel ball, but, we still have a lot that plays there, plus does travel too. But there's a lot of kids in Campbellsburg, can't afford that, the parents can't afford that, so that's,
So how many different leagues? You got wiffle ball all the way to 12.
T-ball, yeah, we got wiffle ball, T-ball, I don't have how many, there's like four T-ball teams, I think. One little couple wiffle ball is just like 10 or 12 this year, but that's age 3s and 4s. And, it's not, yeah, that's enough to deal with. T-ball is hard. I coached T-ball myself several times, several years ago, and it was a workout, So, we got 2 grandsons and the brothers that's in, on one of the teams, and then another grandson that's on one, great grandson. And then we have T-ball, then we have 8 U's, 10 U's, 12 U's, and when I think, I'm not sure on how many teams there are. I think there's 2 12U boys, and there's, the 10 U's are maybe 3 or 4. I haven't been able to see them. I'm going to high school, granddaughter playing high school, and grandson's playing T-ball, but, it goes up to 12U. Because after that, they're in junior high, so they can't, they don't play usually.
See, you've got here, estimated lost revenue about 10,281.09, and you've got 2019 for comparison with 2020 and then 21. Your loss mainly happened in 20, and then a little bit less in donation. Well, donations. Well, donations are down from 2019, about $1,600.
Yeah, and that's probably, we didn't ask for the donations for the signs on the fence, or, we didn't get the shirts started, so either. We furnish their shirts with their entry fee, and we try to keep the kids' entry fee down. It's, I think it's paper agreements, but, we usually charge $15 to $20 for the first child, and then we just add like $10 for the second child, and maybe up to 3 or 4, and then if they have more than that, there's no extra fee. We try to keep it down.
Okay.
They're only paying for, if they have 4 or 5, they're paying 3. So we try to keep that down. We have raised that a little bit. I don't know, maybe $5 or $10 over the 20-some years we've had it. We haven't raised that. But our goal is to keep that going for kids that couldn't play anywhere else. There's a lot of kids that play. We're always surprised every year how many we get.
All right. What if your Parks and Rec, I guess, let's see, you have insurance?
Yeah, we have the town's insurance now. I don't think she takes anything out. When we was Babe Ruth, we bought through, we had to have certain insurance when we was sanctioned, and we had to buy our insurance, which we bought it through, Mike Long, who works for, with Rodney Grubb. I can't think which one it is, but insurance, but he.
So you think your insurance is basically under the umbrella of?
Yeah, And we have also our goal is concession stand, our restrooms need a little bit of upgrading too, and then we have a small, building to keep some of the things in, we put a lot of it up at the town hall. And, also our playground, you know, we keep wanting to use money to put some more playground equipment. We have swings, we have a couple little climbing things that are one and bounces, another thing set on, and then one little climbing thing that we've had for years. I think it came from the school.
What,
Our bleachers, we need new bleachers. We missed getting some from the school. They sold, some of the bleachers that they had to get new ones because of regulations. And, the rodeo out there bought for what they would get for metal, you know, they just didn't. So they have a couple more sets, or saying if they have, when they have to go, they're hoping they can give those to us. I didn't think about it then, but, we've got, an old set of bleachers that's there that really would be nice to be replaced someday, but we've got two small, nice sets of metal ones. And we need to build a little, scoreboard, stand for somebody to keep the score, run the scoreboard on that upper field. We built one on the lower field, it needs a little work done to it, I think, too, but, we have a popcorn machine, we used to have an ice machine, I don't think it works anymore. In the concession stand. We'd like to upgrade that a little bit, one of these days.
We'd like to have something, put up close to the playground, play area. To keep the vehicles or anything out for the parking, because a lot of times people ignore when we put signs up, so we'd like to put something up to divide that, so there can't be any cars parked in the, closer to the playground, play area.
I think you've got to make the case that you've got plenty of places to put this money.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And it is a nice little park, we've got more property there, we've mowed off more to make the parking better, but they still go up there by the playground, so we're gonna have to put cables or something there, if that works. We've been wanting steps in the bank that goes down from the upper field to the concession, it's just grass bank, and it's kind of dangerous. I go way around now, cause I'm, always falling or something, but, I've been wanting steps put in there, so he's hoping that sometime to get somebody to put steps, you know, that's usually volunteer stuff, but we haven't got that done. We forget about it just small starts, you know, but, it needs some steps in it, cause it's a little dangerous, and that worries me about somebody falling there. But we just kinda do things as we get money, you know.
Okay.
We've held pretty good for 25
You got any questions?
I have no questions.
Rob?
I make a motion that we grant $10,000, or suggest to the commissioners that they do $10,000 for Campbellsburg Park and Recreation with the next dispersal.
Okay, motion, by Mark Manship, second by Brock, for, $10,000.
Thank you.
And that, no discussion, we'll take it up, for vote, all in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, same. Carried.
Thank you so much.
We have a lot of business for you guys at your next meeting here.
Thank you, Jim.
You were here when we told the outside walls, you know, we had one on that.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, we spent a majority of our money on that. It's like $27,000 the ones that could do it quickly, that was the only ones we could get quickly. To get it done before we started this stuff.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your work.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know I was supposed to call and get on the agenda.
Well, that's fine, you're, just kinda come up and tell us who you are and who you represent.
You did good.
Hi. And I feel a little unprepared because I just have one paper, but I will give it to you here shortly. My name is Susan Lloyd. I'm with the Washington County Tourism, and, we discussed back and forth whether we should even come and give you a figure of what we lost during COVID, but we thought we would anyway, just because there was a loss during COVID. What we would like to do is to put up more signage, for when people come into Washington County. Like the other day, I came in from Paoli, and there's nothing showing where to turn for Beck's Mill. We don't necessarily promote Washington County to Washington County. We try to promote Washington County to bring people in. And so we have helped the John Hay House project. We've helped with, like we was one of the sponsors for the music thing they did. So we're trying to help things in Washington County be better, so when we ask people to come in and enjoy what we have, it's up to par. The John Hay House was falling in, and so that's a very historical place, and we'd like to organize a history trail and some of those kind of things to bring people in. Morgan's Raiders came through Washington County, and there's a trail that you can promote that, and so we would like to do more of that, but we have to have Washington County ready to have visitors in. I will submit this. We actually lost $25,000 during COVID. We have a board of 7 members. I'm the president. Jack McHerron is the vice president. Byron Fagg is the secretary. Lori Jackson is the treasurer. And then we have 3 members, Danielle Walker, Stephanie Vines, and Janet Ewan. You might know her. So anyway, we meet the second Tuesday of the month here in the courthouse at 5 o'clock. I think Washington County is a beautiful place, and we could, have a lot of visitors in. We get our revenue from the visitors from the innkeeper's tax.
What is that tax and how much revenue does it bring in?
She's made a copy, but it looked like it. She's made a copy, but it looked like it was around.
I've got that on my phone because I tallied it up a couple, 3
All right.
Okay, go for it.
The benchmark year 2019, just the innkeeper's tax was $52,044.53. For 2020, it was $36,069.24, for a net loss in 2020 of $15,975.29. Once again, taking the benchmark year of 19 compared to 2021, the 19 number obviously is the same, 52, 44, 53. The 21 income was $35,231.71 for a net loss of $16,812.94.
$32,788.11. Now, you can go to the treasurer's office and get these same numbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, that's where I got my numbers, only I subtracted 27 from 52 and got 25, so. Well, that's right, I don't know. Yeah, that is right. Todd did it a different way. He ciphered a little bit different than I did.
He used new math.
Oh. But anything, you know, or we're not as off, you know, bad off as some of these other people that have been up here. But we did have a loss and we just thought we would turn it in.
I'm a little confused.
Is a loss from 19 to 20, and then 21, you had 66. You said, Todd, that in 21, there was 35,231? Is that correct?
Yep, that's what I wrote down.
Right. I got here, 66,875, 61 from the income tax. Let me make a recommendation here. Let's tweak these figures.
Yes, yes.
Okay?
I'll go home and look at what I got from the auditor's office.
Right. And bring us back a kind of a narrative of what you just discussed. And then it has to be anything exacting, but it can be, look like this.
Yep.
And then, and file that with us.
Okay.
And we'll take it under consideration
Okay,
at the next meeting.
okay. Fair enough. I didn't know,
Well,
I didn't have the information on what formality to do, so
well,
Very formal.
I know.
yeah.
Let me save her a step. I've got a copy of 19s, 20, and 21s back there in that office that came from Nancy. I can make you guys copies, you can look at them, and you can cipher.
Okay.
I will say that we just got our last, we get a check every quarter, and the last check was 15,000.
Okay.
I do know that.
Do you have that here, Doug?
Yeah. You want me to grab it? Yeah. It may take me about 3 minutes.
All right.
They're on the wall. Yeah. Sure it was.
While we're there, let's go back to Martinsburg, since there's not representation. You're fine right there.
Okay.
We're just gonna have discussion. Do you wanna,
They come last night,
yeah,
we told them to come on the 5th, and they called me at about 9:30, and when they were where we was at, they come up. One of them's gotta go to the doctor today, and I guess you know how these doctors are. Hey, everybody at home yet?
Uh-oh.
no, that's not.
Wait, I said, I didn't see it till Travis printed it off, I haven't talked to him.
Looks like it's $3,000 that they're requesting.
I think it's a $10,000.
Is this the losses?
They're
Unable to hold.
Request for consideration for monetary distribution. Oh, there's another sheet. Okay.
Oh, I haven't learned which one.
One of them got numbers.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Got the number.
I ain't gonna look on the back this time.
That's cheating.
Oh, gosh.
But I would assume, I don't want to assume it is. Is it 10,600 is what they are asking for?
That's what I see.
match up with what's on the front letter that's in you.
No, that other one that they have is the one from the last meeting. The
So this-
3,000.
This is the expanded one.
This is the new one, yes.
This is with the new figures, okay.
Because-
Scrap that front page. We'll go with this one. We already did, Rotary, did we funded them on our class, I think we did the Rotary.
Yes, you done.
Yeah. Yeah, here's South Rotary, Master Gardeners. We've already done, Beacon Community Betterment. So we've done several nonprofits outside the walls, but done have helping hands. It's an expense. Yeah, there's, these are incurred even though they didn't have the meetings. Okay. They usually got voluntary, okay. So they're asking about 10. So. Let's see, I just go back and I'll read some of these nonprofits, what we did. Sound Rotary, 4250. Master Gardeners, 1800. Beacon Community Betterment, 4500. Okay.
Oh, it's 3 different years.
All right.
That's the other year. 20.
Anybody got,
Should be 19, 20, 21.
all right, does anybody have 20, an extra 20? All right, okay. All right. Well, you punch the figures in there.
So for 19, it was 0 or $52,044.53.
Right.
And then for 20, they went down to $36,069.20. So the loss for that year, 15, the first year loss was 595,975. So
Okay.
15,000, if I did it right.
All right.
And then 21, there was again loss compared to 19.
Total loss of $32,788.11. Don't you have that?
That's what I had.
All right.
Well, I'd like to have a copy of those papers sometime, you can give them to Jana if you want to,
You can have them right now.
because I have a different figure that I got from them, so.
All right, well, let's have a little discussion on, tax loss revenue in there. Are we gonna, most of this is innkeeper's tax, and in the ARP, it talks about, making up for tax revenue.
I know you're right, but I don't remember which way it fell, which side. Can you do it, can you push that law, or can you not?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I looked it up, but it's been 3 months ago, and I can't tell you exactly the details, but it is in there, and it is allowable from what I read. But don't take my word for it.
Well, I tell you what, with that, I think we need to kind of look into it a little bit.
Yeah, we don't wanna get in trouble.
We got the tax, we got the figures now to work with. I still want your narrative,
Yes.
to go with it. But let us review what we can do and can't do with it, because without looking through this.
I understand completely, because when we get ready to spend money, we're restricted on what we can spend the money on, so, yeah, better safe than sorry.
So, we're gonna review. You did. All right. Well, if he can get us that knowledge in there, but we'll take your proposal up with your narrative at the next meeting.
That'll work.
Okay.
And when is that next meeting?
First Tuesday.
First Tuesday.
First Tuesday.
All right.
It was different. Some of these guys are trying to get reelected.
I know.
June 7th.
Okay.
June 7th?
Okay.
All right.
6 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Here, you wanna take this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We got some more figures on Delaney Creek. That's from Pat. Oh, Martinsburg, yes, let's do that. I'm moving around. I'm jumping around too much here. Some of these other nonprofits have been around 4 to 5. Catalyst was 9,000. You know, some of those other ag groups were that. What's your thoughts here? Let's just have some conversation here.
Well, I don't think that the utilities cost for 20 and 21 really represents a loss. That's just something that has to be operating. I think making up for the cookie walk and the chicken barbecue actually represents lost income, you know? I would feel okay about giving maybe 200 to reflect their actual losses from those 2 years.
Okay. You say, you make that as a motion?
I will make that as a motion.
Okay. Okay, second by Brock. The only thing for discussion in there, we're excluding out the utility cost for 20 and 21, and are considering their losses of the revenue for not being able to have their fundraisers. So that's come to a total of 8,200 in that. So,
And that's what we've done with most of the others. It was their losses that
Right.
made good, not their operating expenses per se.
Okay. Motion has been made, seconded, discussion has been done, we'll take it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Same, for, not, seeing none, and approved, by the ARP, refer that to the commissioners. Okay. Delaney is another one. We've asked for different figures. Delaney's been one that, is a unique situation. They had losses, but then they had gains. It's kind of one of those things that, finally the cabin fever broke out of everybody, and they went to the park in there, because it was closed. You know, one thing I will say, and Mark has been involved in this, part too over the years, in some very negative aspects in there. And I've got to commend the park board and the operation management for where they put this park at right now. I know the county is still subsidizing a little bit on the salary, but considering on where it was several years ago, it's a blessing. So, I will commend them on that. I just don't know which direction to go with this.
I'll make a comment.
Yes.
I'd like you to look over the gains and losses. You know, they still make money over those years. I guess the question I would have would be down here on the, sanitation supplies, sanitation testing, and the, what was the other one I seen?
Down at the bottom of the first page.
Yeah, the garage and motor, yeah, some of those, yeah. Garage and motor supplies, sanitation equipment, and the testing. And, pretty sure all that was due to the COVID.
So the sanitation, what you're thinking on the garage expense as far as COVID?
Well, I don't know whether it's.
Why did it drop so much?
That is a good question.
Of course, that's on the expense side. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So they had less expense.
yes,
That's what it's showing,
yes,
so.
yeah. Thank you for clarifying that.
What are non-taxable sales for the Delaney Creek?
Would that be, fishing license in there? But right now, what I looked, I mean, there are less expense on garage and motor supply. There's a few figures that I think are legitimate, and that's sanitation equipment supplies and sanitation testing, but that's $1,387 if you go into that, particular in there. Now, if you go on the revenue side, in there, look at their daily park paths, being reduced down a little bit, you know, between 20 and 21. Is actually higher in 20, which would be more of a COVID year. A little less, Chris, am I right here, or 21? Would you classify that, Mark, as a full COVID year?
One was when it hit. I mean, you know, that's April's when this country went into shutdown of 2020. I mean, it's still going on in 2021, but I mean, at least for vaccine.
And non-taxable sales, like you said, kind of sticks out. I know we keep asking it for more information. I'd like to see 19 beside that. Maybe we already got it.
Right here.
Okay,
It's on the first.
first application.
It's got 18, 19.
All right,
19 is 305, 20 is 331.
well, that's kind of the narrative I see. It's kind of benefited from it. I mean, they've got some extra expense on sanitation equipment. Well, yes.
I said, that's all I see in there personally.
It's kind of hard to justify it, you know, income after going up and
Yeah.
Did you guys want to take care of it? I'm not sure.
I'm gonna recommend, as a chair, I'm gonna recommend we table this again.
I second that. All right, is that in the form of a motion?
That's form of motion.
Second.
And I will do a note for tabling is, for the thing is, this is one of the entities that looks like it has actually benefited from the COVID because their general sales are up, expenses are down.
The net income is going up. I mean,
Right.
It's hard to justify a loss when your overall income is going up.
So, with that, and motion second, any more discussion? If not, we've made a motion to table it. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carried. We will table this. I just feel like we've got other things that we need to be working on. All right, anything else anybody would like to bring up at this time? Not only a motion to adjourn. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay,
Dave,
yes.
would it be helpful to have John come in to the next meeting?
Yeah, just, you
I think
know,
it'd be helpful if we could show us the loss.
yeah, we're contemplating, I mean, in the discussion if you have with him, we're showing an increase in revenue. We understand that we can justify these sanitation issues and extra testing, but we're, by his own figures, we can't justify a loss.
I asked him to come to this one, but I don't know if he forgot.
Yeah.
I'll send him out.
So, but, anyway, I think that's just where we're kinda at with that. So, well, thank you, everybody, need a motion.
Hold on a
to-
minute.
Yep,
What about that?
We talked about, yeah, on the wedding funeral home.
okay. That's for the lift. And
No, the
cooler,
funeral.
oh, the reimbursed for, how much was that amount?
4,000, well, it's 5,008, oh, wait a minute. Bottom line for everything is 16,934.
But that would include the lift, or not, that bottom number.
The lift was 4,277. And that will carry someone from 300 to 450 pounds. Income of 5,856.
Yeah, income, I think is the question, you looking on there.
You know, $11,000, $10,955. Does the cooler end at the corner? No.
How many bodies will they be able to handle out there? No, I'm not here.
Corner. This is a 3. I think this is 3.
Two of them actually expanded more. I mean, overall, I think we go 8, we had to, by different beds.
But it's not in right now, right?
Yeah. You talking about the corners on?
Yeah, it is.
Not the new one,
Well, not the portable.
not the new one.
They have a cooler, but there's cooler that they got the money from ARP, no, it's not.
That hasn't been put in.
Yeah.
So we're still saying it's standing at the same on the county pre-COVID, right? So we're relying on other coolers at the funeral homes to go in. Have we, I mean, has that been an issue?
Not lately.
There'll be another COVID at some point.
Hey. No. Can't wait 2 years?
I would just wonder if they would agree to make their cooler available to us in the case of a pandemic or mass disaster or whatever. I would feel okay about subsidizing that.
Get ready, because that's a private business.
I know, we've not done that. It is, I mean, I fully recognize that.
Well, I know that you'll end up with at least 2, maybe 3 more funeral homes doing the same request that we do. Not saying that, you know, I think we addressed the cooler issue by allocating the money for the coroner's office. I think that probably they have initiated thought process for us to think intently on that, but I'm in hesitation, you know, to do it. I'm trying to think this objectively. Private business, they'd already made an investment in there for their own needs. Now, that lift business, I don't know.
I
you think that a funeral home allows for extra work in regards to extra weight, whereas a county ambulance service could not charge extra for that?
I don't know if they have an extra charge for massive obesity or not. I haven't made my plans yet, so.
There yet,
I keep working on it.
Oh,
No,
God.
I think the county obviously, I mean, if you don't, I mean, I've lived at cots and stuff, but I don't do it anymore, but, I think they need that. I don't, but I don't know what funeral homes do or.
I'd say in this day and age, probably so.
Yeah.
But it's a private sector business.
Yes, it is. And
That's
we kind of fell off on that because you're right, it's a can of worms and it's.
something to think about.
I recommend us wait with, I know it's a kick in the can down there, but it's one of those, if we cross that right there in the private business, we're on for the races.
Yeah, you.
So, all right. All right, we're adjourned.